Have you ever wondered what it feels like to see the future before anyone else? To look at the world, not as it is, but as it could be, a world shaped by ideas so bold, so disruptive, they border on the unbelievable. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, staring into a fog so thick you can barely see your own hands. And yet, you're the only one who senses the shape of what's coming next. That's the world Cathie Wood has lived in 4 decades, a world where the impossible is simply the next opportunity waiting to be seized. Picture this. The financial world, for centuries, has been ruled by tradition, by caution, by those who cling to the safety of the familiar. But every once in a while, someone comes along who refuses to play by the old rules. Someone who doesn't just ride the waves of change, but dares to create them. Cathie Wood is that rare force of visionary who has made it her life's work to chase down the wildest dreams of technology, to bet on the companies everyone else is too afraid to touch, and to do it with a conviction that borders on obsession. Her story isn't just about numbers or stock charts. It's about the relentless pursuit of what lies beyond the horizon. It's about believing in the power of innovation when the world laughs in your face. When others see chaos, she sees the birth of a new order. When others see risk, she sees the seeds of revolution. In a world where most investors are terrified to step outside their comfort zone, Cathie Wood has built an empire by running toward the unknown. She doesn't just invest in companies, she invests in the future itself. But what drives someone to take such extraordinary risks? Is it genius? Madness? Or is it something even deeper, a faith in humanity's ability to reinvent itself over and over again? Cathie's philosophy is simple but radical. The greatest returns come not from following the crowd, but from standing alone, sometimes for years, until the world finally catches up. She believes that true success in investing and in life belongs to those who are brave enough to stand on the right side of change, even when it feels like the whole world is against them. Think about it. Would you dare to pour your life savings into a company that most people have never heard of, whose technology sounds more like science fiction than reality? Would you hold on to your vision when the market calls you a fool? When your peers shake their heads? When failure seems all but certain? Cathie Wood has done exactly that, time and time again. She's not just predicting the future, she's shaping it, one bold decision at a time. And yet, her approach isn't reckless. It's rooted in a deep understanding of how the world works and how it could work if we dared to dream bigger. She doesn't chase after the latest trends or the hottest stocks. Instead, she seeks out the seeds of transformation, those rare moments when technology, society, and human ambition collide to create something truly new. She knows that real innovation doesn't happen in a straight line. It's messy, unpredictable, and often misunderstood, but it's also unstoppable. What makes Cathie Wood's journey even more remarkable is that she has achieved all this in an industry dominated by tradition, by skepticism, by men who have ruled Wall Street for generations. She is not just breaking the glass ceiling, she's rewriting the entire blueprint for what it means to be a successful investor in the 21st century. Her story is proof that courage, vision, and an unshakable belief in the power of change can move mountains even in the most unlikely places. So, as you listen to this story, ask yourself, what kind of world do you want to live in? A world that clings to the past, or one that races fearlessly toward the future? Are you willing to challenge everything you thought you knew about success, about risk, about what's possible? Because by the end of this journey, you might just find yourself questioning not only how you invest, but how you live. If you find yourself inspired or even just a little bit intrigued, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and support our channel. Your encouragement is what keeps us going and helps us bring you more stories that challenge, excite, and empower you to think differently. Now, here's a question to ponder, and I want you to comment your answer below. Which mindset do you believe leads to greater breakthroughs in life? A. Following the crowd and playing it safe. B. Standing alone and embracing bold, unconventional ideas. Type A or B in the comments and let's see where our community stands. Imagine a world where the boundaries between science fiction and reality are dissolving right before our eyes. This is not some distant future, it is unfolding now, driven by the relentless surge of breakthrough technologies that are redefining every aspect of our lives. Cathie Wood's vision is not just about chasing the next big thing. It's about recognizing the tectonic shifts beneath the surface, the kind that quietly reshape civilizations before the mainstream even notices. Her investment philosophy is a map to these hidden frontiers, where the most profound changes are brewing. At the heart of this transformation lies a constellation of technological platforms, each with the power to upend entire industries and create new ones from scratch. Artificial intelligence stands as the most potent force among them. a silent architect weaving itself into the fabric of our daily existence. AI is no longer confined to the realm of programmers and tech giants. It is becoming the invisible hand behind medical breakthroughs, financial decisions, creative arts, and even the way we communicate. It is teaching machines to learn, adapt, and anticipate our needs, sometimes before we even recognize them ourselves. The implications are staggering. Diseases diagnosed in seconds, supply chains that repair themselves, and knowledge that expands exponentially with each passing day. Yet, AI is only the beginning. Robotics is emerging as its natural partner, translating digital intelligence into physical action. Imagine factories where robots work alongside humans, not as replacements, but as collaborators, amplifying productivity and safety. Picture autonomous vehicles navigating city streets, drones delivering life-saving medicines to remote villages, and robotic surgeons performing operations with precision beyond human capability. These aren't distant dreams. They are pilot projects, quietly scaling up, preparing to rewrite the rules of labor, logistics, and even our concept of what it means to be employed. Meanwhile, the revolution in energy storage is breaking the chains that have bound us to fossil fuels for generations. Battery technology, once a bottleneck, is now accelerating at an unprecedented pace. This is the silent engine behind the rise of electric vehicles, renewable energy grids, and the entire promise of a carbon-neutral economy. It's not just about cleaner air or cheaper transportation. It's about democratizing energy, giving communities the power to generate, store, and share electricity in ways that were unthinkable just a decade ago. The ripple effects will reach far beyond the environment, reshaping geopolitics, urban design, and the rhythm of our daily lives. Blockchain technology, too, is quietly rewriting the architecture of trust. For centuries, we have relied on intermediaries, banks, government, corporations to guarantee the integrity of our transactions and our identities. Blockchain offers a radical alternative, a transparent ledger that empowers individuals to transact, contract, and collaborate without permission or oversight from traditional authorities. The rise of digital assets, smart contracts, and decentralized finance is not just a financial revolution, it is a social one, promising to redistribute power and opportunity on a global scale. Perhaps the most intimate of these platforms is the field of multiomics and intersection of genomics, proteomics, and other biological sciences that is unlocking the code of life itself. Imagine a world where diseases are detected years before symptoms appear, where treatments are tailored to your unique genetic makeup, and where the very process of aging is slowed or even reversed. This is not wishful thinking. It is the logical culmination of decades of research, now supercharged by AI and data analytics. The implications for healthcare, longevity, and human potential are as limitless as they are profound. Cathie Wood's genius lies in her ability to see not just the individual power of these platforms, but the way they converge. When AI meets robotics, we get intelligent machines that learn from the world and improve themselves. When energy storage meets blockchain, we get decentralized energy markets that empower communities. When multimix meets AI, we get personalized medicine that can save millions of lives. It is at these intersections that the most explosive value is created and where the greatest investment opportunities lie. But these breakthroughs are not just about technology. They are about the human spirit, our insatiable curiosity, our drive to solve problems, our refusal to accept the limits of today. They demand that we rethink our assumptions about work, wealth, health, and even meaning itself. They challenge us to be not just passive consumers of innovation, but active participants in shaping the future. In this new era, the winners will not be those who cling to the safety of the past, but those who embrace the unknown, who learn to see the invisible patterns and dare to act before the crowd. Cathie Wood's approach is a call to all of us, to open our minds, to question the status quo, and to recognize that the most extraordinary opportunities are often hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone bold enough to believe. In the labyrinth of modern finance, investment portfolios are often built on the bedrock of caution, diversification, risk management, the steady accumulation of value over time. But what if the very nature of value itself is changing? What if the most lucrative opportunities no longer lie in the familiar blue-chip stocks, or the predictable EBB and flow of traditional markets, but in the wild, uncharted frontiers opened up by artificial intelligence and digital assets? This is the landscape that Cathie Wood navigates with a visionary's precision, seeing not just the potential for profit, but the seismic shifts in how wealth is created, stored, and multiplied in the 21st century. At the core of her investment strategy is a radical departure from convention. Instead of spreading capital thinly across every sector, she concentrates her bets on the technologies and companies she believes will define the future. This is not speculation, it is conviction, grounded in deep research and a willingness to endure volatility in pursuit of extraordinary returns. The result is a portfolio unlike any other on Wall Street, one that pulses with the energy of the world's most ambitious innovations. Artificial intelligence sits at the heart of this portfolio, not as a single investment, but as a catalyst that transforms every industry it touches. AI is not just a tool, it is a force multiplier, accelerating discovery, automating complexity, and creating new business models that were inconceivable just a few years ago. Companies that harness AI are not merely improving efficiency, they are redefining what is possible. Whether it's a biotech firm decoding the mysteries of the genome, a fintech startup revolutionizing lending, or a logistics giant orchestrating global supply chains with machine learning, the common thread is the relentless pursuit of smarter, faster, more adaptive systems. But AI's influence extends far beyond the corporate world. It is reshaping the very fabric of society, from personalized education to predictive healthcare, from autonomous vehicles to intelligent infrastructure. For investors, the opportunity is not just to ride the wave, but to help shape it, to identify the pioneers, the visionaries who are building the scaffolding of tomorrow's economy. Cathie Wood's portfolio is a living testament to this philosophy, filled with names that once seemed speculative, even outlandish, but are now becoming household words. Yet, perhaps even more revolutionary is her embrace of digital assets, a category that many traditional investors still view with skepticism or outright fear. Digital assets are not just speculative tokens or fleeting trends. They represent a fundamental shift in how value is stored, transferred, and understood. At the center of this revolution is blockchain technology, which offers a new paradigm of trust and transparency. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum are just the beginning. The real promise lies in decentralized finance, smart contracts, and tokenized asset tools that have the potential to democratize access to capital, dismantle barriers to entry, and create entirely new ecosystems of innovation. This is not a world for the faint of heart. The volatility is real, the risks are substantial, and the path is anything but clear. But for those with the vision to see past the noise, the rewards can be transformative. Cathie Wood's willingness to allocate significant portions of her funds to digital assets is a bold belief that the future of finance will be built on open protocols, decentralized networks, and programmable money. It is a wager on the ingenuity of developers, the wisdom of crowds, and the unstoppable momentum of technological progress. The beauty of this approach is that it does not seek safety in numbers or comfort in conformity. It is a strategy that demands courage, patience, and a deep understanding of both technology and human psychology. It is about recognizing that the next Apple, Amazon, or Google may not look like any company we know today. It might be a decentralized autonomous organization, a platform powered by AI, or a protocol that exists only in code. The challenge is to spot these opportunities before they become obvious. To invest not in what is, but in what could be. For those willing to follow this path, the possibilities are astonishing. Imagine a world where financial services are available to anyone with a smartphone, where wealth can be created and shared without gatekeepers, where innovation is limited only by imagination. This is not a distant dream, it is a reality being built in real time, one breakthrough at a time. Cathie Wood's portfolio is more than a collection of stocks and tokens. It is a manifesto for the future of investing. It is a call to action for anyone who believes that the greatest opportunities lie not in the safety of the known, but in the adventure of the unknown. In a world transformed by AI and digital assets, the question is not whether you can afford to take risks, but whether you can afford not to. As we stand on the threshold of a new technological era, it is not only the world of finance or business that is being reimagined, but the very fabric of society itself. The convergence of artificial intelligence, digital assets, robotics, and biotechnology is not happening in isolation. It is radiating outward, touching every aspect of our collective existence. The impact on education, employment, and the broader social contract is profound, demanding a rethinking of what it means to learn, to work, and to belong in a world where the pace of change is accelerating beyond anything humanity has previously known. Education, once a linear journey from classroom to career, is being fundamentally disrupted. No longer can we rely on the old model of rote memorization, standardized testing, and a single profession for life. In the age of intelligent machines and ubiquitous information, the most valuable skills are adaptability, creativity. The classroom is shifting from a static environment to a dynamic ecosystem, where learning is personalized, interactive, and continuous. Artificial intelligence is making it possible to tailor educational experiences to the needs of each student, identifying strengths and weaknesses in real time and recommending pathways that nurture individual potential. This is not simply about efficiency, it is about equitabouts giving every learner, regardless of background, the tools to thrive in a world where knowledge is both infinite and in constant flux. But education does not exist in a vacuum. It is intimately tied to the world of work. And here too, the ground is shifting beneath our feet. Automation and AI are rendering certain jobs obsolete, but they are also creating entirely new categories of work that would have been unimaginable a generation ago. The challenge is not simply to preserve employment, but to redefine it. What does it mean to have a career when machines can outperform humans in routine tasks? When value is increasingly generated by creativity, empathy, and complex the answer lies in embracing a more fluid conception of work, one that values not just technical expertise, but the uniquely human qualities that machines cannot replicate. In this new landscape, the ability to collaborate across discipline, to communicate effectively, and to adapt to rapidly changing circumstances becomes paramount. The traditional boundaries between jobs, industries, and even identities are dissolving. People are no longer defined by a single role or employer, but by a portfolio of skills, experiences, and passions. The rise of the gig economy, remote work, and decentralized organizations is a testament to this shift. Move away from rigid hierarchies toward networks of collaboration and shared purpose. Yet, these changes are not without their challenges. As technology advances, there is a real risk of deepening inequality, of leaving behind those who lack access to the tools and opportunities of the digital age. The social contract must evolve to meet these new realities. This means reimagining not just education and employment, but the very systems that underpin our society's healthcare, social safety nets, and civic participation. It means investing in digital literacy, in universal access to technology, and in policies that support transitions between jobs and careers. It means fostering a culture of lifelong learning, where everyone has the chance to reinvent themselves as the world evolves. The impact of these changes extends far beyond economics. They touch on questions of meaning, identity, and belonging. In a world where machines can produce and distribute material goods with unprecedented efficiency, the answer, perhaps, lies in our capacity for connection, for empathy, for creativity. Technology can free us from drudgery, but it cannot replace the human need for contribution and recognition. The most successful societies in this new era will be those that harness technology not just for productivity, but for the flourishing of the human spirit. This transformation is not something that can be managed from the top down. It requires a collective effort, a partnership between individuals, communities, businesses, and governments. It demands leadership that is both visionary and compassionate, willing to take risks and to invest in the potential of every citizen. It calls for a new narrative, one that celebrates curiosity, resilience, and the courage to embrace the unknown. Cathie Wood's vision is not simply about capitalizing on technological disruption, but about shaping a future in which innovation serves the common good. It is a call to look beyond the immediate gains of automation and efficiency, and to ask deeper questions about the kind of world we want to build. Will we allow technology to divide us, or will we use it as a force for inclusion and empowerment? Will we cling to outdated models of education and work, or will we seize the opportunity to create a society that is more just, more creative, and more humane? The answers to these questions will define not just the future of our economies, but the future of our civilization. As we navigate the uncertainties of this new era, we must remember that technology is a tool. Its impact depends on how we choose to wield it. The promise of this moment is immense, but it will only be fulfilled if we have the wisdom, the courage, and the compassion to ensure that no one is left behind. In this lies our greatest challenge and our greatest hope. Standing at the crossroads of history and possibility, we are compelled to look beyond the immediate turbulence of technological disruption and financial innovation, and instead, to contemplate the broader currents shaping our world. The macro perspective offers a wide-angle lens, revealing not only the forces that propel markets and societies forward, but also the profound lessons that arise from navigating uncertainty with vision and resilience. In this light, the story of success is never merely about capitalizing on trends or riding waves of innovation. It is about cultivating the wisdom to recognize patterns, the courage to act against the prevailing winds, and the inspiration to lead others toward a future that is both prosperous and humane. Cathie Wood's journey is emblematic of this mindset. Her approach is not rooted in blind optimism, but in a disciplined openness to change. She understands that the most transformative opportunities often emerge from periods of volatility and doubt, when consensus is clouded by fear or inertia. Her willingness to challenge orthodoxy, question the assumptions that under conventional investment and economic thinking has enabled her to see value where others see only risk. This is not a matter of luck or timing, but of cultivating a worldview that prizes curiosity, adaptability, and conviction. At the macro level, the world is experiencing a convergence of forces unlike anything in living memory. Demographic shifts, and the relentless advance of technology are reshaping the contours of power and prosperity. Yet, within this complexity lies a fundamental truth. Progress is not linear, nor is it guaranteed. Every era of rapid transformation is accompanied by uncertainty, by the disruption of established norms, and by the emergence of new paradigms that challenge our understanding of value and purpose. The lesson, then, is not to seek shelter from change, but to embrace it as the engine of growth and renewal. This requires a fundamental recalibration of how we assess risk and opportunity. In a world where yesterday's certainties are today's, success belongs to those who can anticipate not just the next incremental improvement, but the tectonic shifts that redefine entire industries and societies. It is about seeing the invisible, recognizing the seeds of tomorrow's breakthroughs in the overlooked corners of today's economy. Cathie Wood's success is a testament to the power of independent thinking. She has shown that it is possible to outperform the market, not by following the crowd, but by trusting in research, intuition, and a relentless pursuit of understanding. Her willingness to invest in ideas that seem radical or premature is grounded in a deep belief that the future is shaped by those who dare to imagine it differently. This is a lesson that extends far beyond finance. In every field, from science to art to social change, the most significant advances come from those who refuse to be constrained by the limitations of the present. Yet, vision alone is not enough. The journey towards success is marked by setbacks, by moments of doubt, and by the necessity of perseverance. Cathie Wood's career is replete with such moments, periods when her strategies were dismissed, when her funds underperformed, when the consensus turned against her. What distinguishes her is not an absence of failure, but an unwavering commitment to her principles. She understands that true conviction is tested not in times of triumph, but in the crucible of adversity. The ability to learn from mistakes, to adapt without abandoning core beliefs, is the hallmark of enduring leadership. Perhaps the most inspiring dimension of this story is its invitation to others. Cathie Wood's example is not a solitary path, but a beacon for anyone willing to engage deeply with the world's challenges and opportunities. She demonstrates that success is not reserved for the privileged few, but is accessible to those who combine curiosity with discipline and ambition with empathy. Her journey encourages us to think bigger, to question more deeply, and to act more boldly, not just for personal gain, but for the collective good. In the end, the macro perspective is not about predicting the future with perfect accuracy, but about preparing ourselves to thrive amid uncertainty. It is about developing the intellectual and emotional tools to navigate complexity, to build resilience in the face of setbacks, and to inspire others to join us on the path of discovery. The world will continue to change, often in ways we cannot foresee. But if we approach this change with openness, integrity, and a commitment to learning, we can shape outcomes that reflect our highest aspirations. The enduring lesson is that success is not a destination, but a process of continual engagement with the unknown, a willingness to adapt, and a dedication to making a positive impact. Cathie Wood's legacy is not simply her financial achievements, but the example she sets for all who seek to turn uncertainty into opportunity and possibility into progress. In this, we find both guidance and inspiration for the journey ahead.